Yo, like, comment, subscribe. Here we go. Jeopardy music, Jeopardy music, Jeopardy music. There we go.
That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored. They did it.
Left, feet left.
What the hell was that?
Oh yeah. What the fuck are you talking about?
What is going on, everybody? Sorry for the little delay in the beginning. I lost my track already. It's been a rough day. The Flyers are coughed up a lead. They were up 2-0 first 5 minutes of the game. They're rounding up on 8 minutes left. They are now tied 4-4 against the Rangers at New York. It's been a tough stretch for them. We will talk about them tonight. We will talk about the Sixers and their just complete annihilation of the San Antonio Spurs last night without Joel Embiid.
Yep.
Ben Simmons is playing like the defensive player of the year that he should be. I've been saying that all along. Just want to pat myself on the back for that one. F. Rudy Gobert and the Jazz, and Donovan Mitchell, all those guys. Clowns. That's what they are. We will talk about the Eagles today. We just started. It was the legal tampering stages today. We didn't really get anything done besides more restructuring, which shows me that they're going to go all in with Jalen Hurts this year. Well, let me refrain that. They're going to try and go all in this year.
Yep.
And we will talk about that later on in the show. I have an interesting take. We got to talk about the Howie stuff. We got to talk about the Jeffrey Lurie stuff, how they're like, I don't even know what they are. They're attached at the head. They're just not well. I just don't like them. I think a lot of people in this town do not like them, and it's sad to see because just 4 years ago, we were in our glory. It was the new norm. Carter Hart just had an amazing save. Yeah. So we'll talk about the Eagles. We're going to be finishing up this Flyers game. We'll be hopping in on that for the beginning parts of our show. There's 7 minutes left. Rangers are on the power play. It's 4-4. But to start our show, let's check out the poll of the day. The poll of the day is: the Sixers need to reinforce the role players even after blowing out the Spurs last night without Embiid. Agree or disagree? I'm still agreeing. I'm still agreeing to the poll. I rewatched Game 7 again last night against the Raptors 2 years ago. You know how many points our bench scored?
Not
8
even
points.
10.
8 points in that game. 8 points.
Mhm.
You know who were healthy scratches?
How many people actually came in though?
It was a 3-man rotation. You had Mike Scott, you had James Ennis, and then you had Boban.
Okay.
Or it was Boban or
Amir Johnson?
Greg Monroe.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It was either one of them. But the three of them combined for 8 points. You know who were healthy scratches on that roster?
Who?
Shake Milton and Furkan Korkmaz. And right now, they seem to be our two best bench players. Now, just reminiscing back to that war, per se, that we had against the Raptors, their bench played a lot better than our bench did. And it's not even close.
They were a very well-built team. They really were. They had a pretty deep bench where we weren't really sure with our bench because we had James Ennis who would have on and off nights each week, and he would sometimes show up and shoot like the clutch threes, but after that, Sup Don? Yeah.
Dude, I hear you on that with the clutch threes, but you know what I always say, dude? It's a regular season. The regular season is just a big play-in tournament to see what seed you get. And right now, our bench is playing really hard right now, and it's really benefiting us.
Yeah.
But when the defense starts to tighten up and you need to start playing a 10 times better defense than what you are in the regular season, I don't have faith in Furkan Korkmaz. I don't have faith in Shake Milton on the defensive side of the ball. I don't know if Shake can score when the defense tightens up. Yeah. Shake is a great scorer, but he can't be our best scorer coming off the bench.
Yeah,
come playoff
he's
time.
definitely the most. Besides Embiid, I'd probably say he's one of the most consistent when he comes off the bench because he's like a low risk, high reward. Because once he gets his fast breaks, once he gets those buckets, he's so smooth when he gets to the cup. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know whether I agree or disagree with the poll question.
I know you're in love. You're in love with Furkan Korkmaz.
They need to prove something in the next few games. If we don't already make a move before then, which honestly, if you really wanted to, you should before you had this West Coast swing. So it really depends on that.
Yeah.
If they play out the West Coast swing and they don't do well, I guess they're gonna have to trade him. I don't know what the exact date is. It the 26th?
Mm-hmm. It's
the last day of the trade deadline.
24th or 26th, one of those
Okay.
days. I think it's the 24th. I'm gonna look it up real quick. But the last time we talked, Joel Embiid was healthy.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons was healthy. We were scared whether they were going to be able to, or it was Barbergate. They weren't allowed to play in the All-Star game. It was Barbergate. All-Star game had just happened. We got yelled at by a couple of viewers because we didn't know what was happening in the All-Star game. Who blames us? A lot has happened since then. We witnessed, since we've been here, the first seance at A2D Radio. And it worked out that the seance really helped us because the seance brought Joel Embiid's knee to only a hyperextension and a bone bruise.
Yeah.
It looked a lot worse than that, but I think A2D came in and saved the day. I really think we did.
Yeah.
That was great stuff by Tommy. That was great stuff by Ryan. That was great stuff by Frank. That was a great stuff by Jake. It was just, you just loved to see it. You just loved to see it.
And I also added in their comments, I don't know if it got brought up or not, but Shake Milton's injury a few weeks ago was kind of similar to what Embiid did have. So that was my only optimism at the time. You know what I mean? Remember when he had that weird injury with his knee?
Mm-hmm.
I just
it ended up being a torn meniscus.
What Embiid got. So
it started off with a bone bruise. That's what they told us, and it ended up being a torn meniscus.
Yeah. I just hope everything keeps going well. And dude, I was contemplating like Philly sports after that happened. I was just like,
oh yeah,
what the hell else do we have besides?
No. Right when it happened, I said I said it to myself, so it's not on tape. It's not, nobody heard it. Maybe my aunt heard it when I was with her, but I said, oh, it's because we won the Super Bowl. Oh, this is Howie Roseman's fault. Oh, this is Jeffrey Lurie's fault. We will never find happiness again in this city just because of the 2017-2018 Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl 52 champs till the day we die. And that's why I brought up that poll 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. But I mean, they've proved you right the last few games, or they proved you wrong the last few games.
The bench?
Yeah.
Yeah, the bench.
Points.
Jake, 53.3 points per game over the last 4 games.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Is that bench going to put up those type of numbers? Are they going to put up?
I feel like it really depends on how many players that Doc plans on having on the rotation. If you're having 10 players, if you're having 9, 8, like it really depends. If you're having 8, you could trade Maxey. You could dump off somebody that's not going to play. The expiring contracts got to go. You got to start buying it, like maybe a buyout on the team. I don't know. Danny Green looked pretty good yesterday, but we all know like he has his game. Absolutely beat Ben Simmons from 3.
Yeah, I'm throwing Danny Green and Tyrese Maxey in a package for a bona fide starter, a bona fide 2 or a bona fide 3.
Would that Oladipo?
Oladipo.
Who would you rather have, Lowry or Oladipo?
Lowry.
Okay.
I think Lowry is definitely a proven winner. I think Lowry is really tough. He went to Nova, even though some people don't consider Nova Philly. Adam, I don't know about the Flyers. I'll tell you one thing. They need to win this in regulation. They can't let the Rangers steal a point from them, especially after what happened in the first 5 minutes of this game where the Flyers just came out on fire. They just never seem to be able to put a full game together, and it's really starting to get on my nerves. The defense looks like the Eagles' offensive line. Carter Hart looks like Swiss cheese. And Alain Vigneault just does not know what to do with this high-powered forward combination that he has.
Yeah.
It seems like he's just lost. I still think they're missing a sniper. They're
I
missing.
really like Kevin Hayes.
There we
dude.
go, Kevin Hayes.
really like
there we
Kevin
go.
Hayes.
As I roast them, Kevin Hayes puts up a go-ahead goal with 3 minutes left on the power play. 5-4 Flyers.
Pretty sure this may have been Gossesbear's third point tonight.
Yeah,
Or second.
Ghost took last year personally. I was on him.
Oh yeah,
at the start of this year, but he took last year personally, and he's really starting to step up. He looks like the Gossesbear that we got in 2017 when I was a junior in high school when the Eagles won the World Series, won the Super Bowl. Let me go back to the Sixers point that I had right now. Though. I don't trust Shake. I don't trust Furk. I don't trust the two of them making big shots in the playoffs when we need them the most, when the defense is tightened up. I don't trust either one of them making defensive stops when we need them to make a defensive stop. I'm putting Danny Green. I'm putting Tyrese Maxey in a package to get either a Kyle Lowry, which the Raptors said that they don't want to trade anymore. I don't think anybody's untouchable with the right deal.
I agree, man. You already know how I feel about Maxey. I think he's a great player. It's like
he's never going to work with Ben Simmons.
Right player, wrong time. But he's never going to fight. He's never going to be a player.
You found a jewel with the 21st pick in this draft. It's time to exchange him to find a solid piece to win this title.
Jimmy, they just overturned that goal.
I'm watching it.
They just overturned that goal.
I don't like the mustaches that they have. I don't like Lawton's mustache. I don't like Hayes' mustache. I'm
looking at Hayes' mustache right now. I'm just like, what the hell is that? He has not been the same player as he was last year. He was riding the forwards last.
That's onside. Puck was on the blue line with Kutz's foot.
I don't know, man. They're not going to allow it. They're not allowed.
I don't blame refs anymore. I became a 5th and 6th grade basketball referee last year. And before that time, me and the referees were not best friends. I used to just go at referees, whether it was football, rugby, basketball, baseball, every sport I played. I just absolutely always hated a referee. But once I started refereeing basketball, I changed up my mind. Referees, they have a tough job.
They do. They do.
When you have replay,
you can't please both sides. You can't please both sides.
But look, when you have a replay like that, when Couturier, everybody's skate was on the blue line with the puck. That's onside. Am I right or am I wrong? I never played hockey, but I've watched it for
they're not going to allow
20 years now.
Oh my
god. Hey Ryan. If the Sixers did make a splash move, this is what I'd want the 8-man rotation to be. Simmons, Curry, Hield, Harris, Embiid, Milton, Howard, and I can never pronounce his name. I know his face. I don't know. He's Mr. Trader to Philadelphia. That's how I refer him. That's what I refer him to.
Yep.
So I'm thinking that you would have to get rid of Matisse.
Yep.
And Maxey for Hield and Bajelica and Furkan. And Furkan.
You probably would.
I don't want to give up Matisse. I don't think Hield is worth.
I think you just want to get rid of Furkan.
No, I want to get rid of Furkan. I want to throw Furkan in there just as a sweetener. Furkan could stay on the bench. He could be the 9th man. He could be the 10th man.
I'm telling you, he'll play. He'll play.
He'll play for about 2 minutes.
He did last year.
Yeah, and what did that get us?
If Danny Green does not have a good night shooting, you can't tell me Furk will not be on.
Matisse is heating up from 3.
That was one game. I liked what I saw from Matisse, but it's one game.
Matisse is heating up.
He
got a little tan. He definitely went somewhere over the All-Star break because he definitely got a little tanner. Must be nice. I want to go to Florida or something like that.
But no, all right.
I wouldn't do that. Ryan, if the trade is Hield and the guy that traded us is a bona fide trader for Tease Green, here you go. So Matisse would have to be in that. Am I missing something?
Green,
Curry.
Yeah, Green would not be on the
Dude, Matisse has to play. Matisse has to play in the playoffs, especially if we play the Nets.
Yeah.
Hield doesn't play defense.
They might have that.
Because Hield and Curry don't play defense.
Yeah.
So
They might have a
would be the
9-man
hypothetical
roster.
trade.
They might have a 9-man roster. What's up,
No.
Reds? Trade it. Why do you want to trade a gem? I think this gem we found is nothing that's going to be starting over Ben Simmons unless something happens and we trade Ben, which would be right behind the worst days of his life, probably. Besides the Carson Wentz one, of course.
This is my.
Yeah, I think it's the right player, the wrong time. The positions didn't really match up, and I think that was a big thing on the offseason is that Maxey was a point guard, and he didn't have that shooting percentage to be that great of a shooting guard. Unless he develops a 3-point shot quickly, I really don't see. I don't really see him playing any playoff games. Unless Ben Simmons have an off game too. Remember when TJ McConnell had to come in for Ben Simmons because he was really that bad?
You mean Goat Connell? Hey, he's a free agent at the end of this year. Work on that mid-range a little bit. Come back home, TJ. I'd be down for that.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Frank? The prayer service really did help. If anything else would have came out of that, overtime. If anything else would have came, anything more significant would have came out of that, I maybe would have cried myself to sleep. And I'm not even exaggerating. Not even exaggerating a little bit. Rob fires
when I saw Embiid go down, I was legit upset. Like I was almost on the verge of tears, honestly. I thought this was going to be like last year all over again when Ben Simmons got hurt. And then like the team does look good without Embiid.
We wouldn't have got swept in the first round though.
Just shut up. Don't even say anything like that. Our position is a lot more important than a center. So you're telling me Embiid and TJ, you'd rather have Embiid and TJ than have Simmons and who was Al Horford? They would have definitely not got swept because you would have Embiid. Embiid wouldn't be playing, so Al Horford would be your starting center. And since Embiid's a center, he had a backup center, but he had a point guard and Raul Neto who was playing. Played some minutes. Like I don't know what the hell. I really don't. I don't know. I don't know, Jamie. I don't know what you want me to say about that because I think it would have been a huge advantage if we had Simmons and Al Horford rather than Embiid and Raul Neto.
I was just saying this year.
All right.
If Embiid was that good, how did he get swept last year?
That was a whole different year. That's why he's MVP candidate.
Why are you making me throw Joel Embiid Slater? This is your fault. You're making me throw Joe Slater for no reason. I'm not going to feed into you.
No.
Right, Ryan, I'm saying we do the complete opposite. I say we do have another prayer service to get Kyle Lowry. I think Kyle Lowry is the best option out of Victor Oladipo and Buddy Hield. And Kyle Lowry, obviously.
They want too much. I don't think it's going to happen, which is very stupid on the Raptors' part because he's going to want a lot of money from the Raptors next year too.
It's all good, Ritz.
Yeah. He's going to want a lot of money next year, but if he gets traded, he might take something from the Sixers. You know what I mean?
But this is what I'm saying. I want to go all in this year. You never know if Joel Embiid is going to have this another year like this again.
Why not? Why wouldn't he?
Dude, even when he has his best year, he can't play more than what he should be playing. I know he can't play every game. He'll never be able to play every game.
Yeah.
But the hyperextensions, this is his second hyperextension. If it's not hyperextension, it's gastro from eating too much Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's his back.
That was
You never know. You never know.
That was a whole different year.
What you're going to get out of Joel Embiid any given season. I love Joel Embiid. I love him to death. I really do. He's a treasured guy. We talked about it on the all-time favorite athletes from 2000s for Philadelphia. He's definitely inside the top 10, 100%. He's inside my personal top 10. He maybe even crack a top 5. But he can't hide the fact that he is a 7'2" monster that can do anything on the floor that he wants. But that type of body can't hold up in the NBA.
No.
And he's proven that he can't.
But he still had these years, the comeback years. He still had the years after he got hurt that he was averaging more than he did his rookie year.
Dude,
But
I think
he's had his injuries, fair share of injuries, more than a lot of other players I've seen. But I don't think they're too much of a setback unless something drastic happens. Which
I just could already see the headline come second round if we have to play the Celtics, come second round if we have to play the Bucks, that our role players got outplayed by their role players, and that's what cost us a series. I don't want that to happen. Seth Curry and Danny Green have proven to be way too inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
And the bench is filled with a bunch of puppies. It's just that simple. And not to mention your two best players are still transitioning to be dogs. They're not dogs yet. They're 26 and 24 years old.
I think this is the best Embiid will see.
Exactly. It really depends. It really depends.
Yeah.
If you're a gambling man.
The only reason why I'd say, I don't know, do you think Embiid would do better with a guy like Dame Lillard or a guy with Ben Simmons?
Here we go again.
Who do you think? What do you think? Yeah, I don't think he won't do better percentage wise, but the team would be better.
Dame Lillard doesn't play defense, right? I'm just telling you. What has Dame Lillard won with CJ McCollum, Yusef Nurkic?
He has no defense. He has no defense players on his team.
Yeah, but he is a part of that. He doesn't play defense.
But his offense is crazy.
Okay, and Ben's is still developing. This is one of the best offensive
seasons
developing
we've seen for years, Jimmy.
He's 24. He just turned 24 years old in January.
All right, that's an issue, though.
I'm turning 22 in
24
in November.
When he was 20. And he still doesn't have a three-point shot.
He sat out his first year.
He still doesn't have a three-point shot. He lost a jumper.
He never will have a three-point shot. I hate to break it to you.
He lost a jumper.
What do you mean he lost a jumper? Have you seen him in the paint
have it anymore.
Have you seen him with the hook this year? Have you seen how efficient he is around the paint this year?
That's not going to.
Have you seen how efficient he has been?
Those lucky little hook shots they have.
Lucky? It's not getting lucky anymore. I think I'm behind right now.
You are. Dang, dude. That's.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Oh.
I can already see what's going to happen. You can already see it.
Wow.
How far am I behind?
I didn't see it already says final.
Oh, Panarin. No? How the hell am I this far behind?
Wow.
I didn't even get the ESPN notification yet. Oh, Voracek. I thought you meant we lost.
I'm playing with you.
Why are you playing with my emotions, bro?
I was playing with your heart. I was going to see if you're going to say something you regret.
Dude, Jake Voracek looks like gritty, and it's so scary.
Yeah.
Holy shit. The Flyers win. They gave the Rangers a point, but they still won. They won in overtime, 5-4.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
What the hell was that? That was a play that was a Steve Mason play by King.
Yeah, it really looked
like it. What the hell was that?
It really looked like it. Wow.
Jesus, Jake.
Thanks, Jake. I want to talk a little bit about the Flyers. I just want to punch in something.
What's up, Tom?
Patrick hasn't been that great this year. And I think that's another reason why this team isn't where we wish it was.
Go to Ryan's comment real quick, and then we could go back to the Flyers.
Peak Embiid with a James Harden this year. Peak Embiid with...
Enough of this. Him and Ben and Joe can't play anymore, Evan. It's old. They could play together. They were playing at the highest levels of both of them were playing at the highest levels of their career. They're fine.
All right.
They're absolutely fine. And it looks like the Boston was losing by 2 with 5 minutes left to Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Yeah, they ended up losing 4-1. So now we are 1 point behind Boston for that last playoff spot in the East.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to get back to your Flyers point?
Nolan Patrick has been very disappointing this year.
Yeah.
Very disappointing this year after he didn't really play too much last year after quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he played at all. He had
Well, he had the concussion issues,
concussions.
the post-concussion syndrome.
Yeah, and he had that for a while. But I just think he needs to get back on it. And we say this every podcast, defensive guy and a guy who can hit players. And I don't think we're even close to getting someone like Simmons as of right now. Like, I don't think we'll be getting Simmons, but we can trade. We have enough offensive players that do a decent enough job to be on a second or third line for a good team. If you can get a defensive player in that, why not? Because you need a substitute. You have too much offense and not enough defense. You're like the Nets out there. That's basically what you are. You're the Nets.
Yeah. Here's what I've been saying it for 3 weeks now. Their defense is just terrible. I think Chuck Fletcher is in it to win it this year. You know, playoff hockey is a totally different breed than any other sport. It's probably close to baseball, but still baseball. Usually the top guns win, pending a pitcher being hot.
Yep.
Playoff hockey is so different than anything else. You need once you get in, anything can happen. Like you look at the Canadians last year.
Yep.
They were the 12th seed in the play-in pool or whatever, and they gave the Flyers a run for their money in the first round. In the first round.
Yeah. What was it in 6?
Yeah, it was in
6. I think we were behind in that 6th game.
We were,
and then we came back and won or something like that.
Yeah, but it just goes to show you anything can happen in the hockey playoffs. In 2010, when they made it to the Cup, they made it to the playoffs on the last game of the season. I think they were an 8th seed. They were an 8th seed.
Was that against Boston?
The playing game was against the Rangers. I was at that game. I was 9 years old. 9 years.
What year was it when the Flyers came back 3?
It was that same year. It was the same year.
It was? Okay.
Yeah, same year they went to the Cup.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another thing is that fans are starting to come back in the stadium. So I'm not going to say anything for the Flyers right now because they've been absolutely atrocious since fans have been in the arena. And what do they may have 1 win since fans came back, and the Sixers put on a show yesterday for the fans. First day back, what did we win by? Almost 40 points. That's crazy. Yeah.
Guys, if you're on YouTube, please give us a like. If you're on Facebook, please give us a like. Anywhere you're at, if you could give us a like, please give us a like. Subscribe to the channel. Do anything you have to do to support us, because when you support us, we support you. It's just how it works. Yeah. Like we said last week or 2 weeks ago, they need a guy like Chalmerson from Arizona. Arizona's sucking this year.
And it's easy to trade in hockey. Like we got Kevin Hayes for a 7th round pick or something like that. And it was basically you gave up garbage, but you didn't really know what was you going to do with that contract.
Yeah. Well, and then you signed him, and people got pissed off for signing him.
Yeah,
and it's paying off. He's definitely he's not producing as much as he did last year, but he should have had the go ahead goal in regulation today. But
he really should have. But it got
outside on the playoff on the power play. I'm going to be really bummed out if they end up keeping the defense the way it looks. Nate Proesser. He what was his plus minus today? I will pull that up in a second for
I don't think
he sucks.
Yeah.
He absolutely sucks, and he was our 6th defenseman today.
Wow.
Nate Prosser, -3.
Well, did he just get sent up or something?
He's an old vet. He had 2 goals earlier in the year. I think it was the 3rd game of the season. He had a 2-goal game, and then he basically disappeared.
Yeah.
And then he came back tonight, and he just sucks. I'm sick of the Phil Myers, Travis Sanheim combination. They kind of remind me of a combination of Furkan Korkmaz and Robert Covington. They'll produce a little bit here and there, but at the end of the day, you know that they shouldn't be out on the court when it's.
Wait, did you say Sanheim and Hayes?
Sanheim and Myers.
Oh, Myers. Okay.
Yeah, Myers. I'm sick of that experiment.
Yeah.
Because first of all, they can't be on the defensive line together. They're both too young.
They're too offensive minded. That's the issue.
They're
That's
listed
the
as
issue
two-way.
for our team,
They're
right?
listed as two-way defenders, but
Mhm.
they struggle on the defensive side, and they're defenders.
Yeah.
You need to split them up. One of them has to be a seventh defenseman, or you need to
Mhm.
split them up, or you need to trade one of them.
Yeah.
And I'd be totally okay with that.
Why not? Yeah. And they're young, and they've made themselves something. So
Yeah. Hey, why don't we go after a PK Subban? I'm down for a Subban. Yeah, he has the playoff experience. He's never really won anything. He had that little run with Nashville when they were throwing the catfish out on the ice in the finals. I think they do that every game, but that was besides the point. You got Ekholm from the Predators.
Mhm.
You have some veteran defensive guys out there
Mhm.
that you could probably get for pretty cheap.
Mhm.
You need to upgrade that, and you need to get either a sniper or a grinder or both.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I think you're right in the driver's seat when it comes to the Flyers.
I don't think we should worry about it too much right now. It is kind of what are we in almost mid-season?
Yeah.
For hockey. I
Mhm.
think they still have time to make moves and stuff as they wish, but I'm really liking what I see from Farabee this year. I think he's easily been one of our best players, most consistent wise.
Yeah.
Giroux is having an okay year,
Mhm.
stepping up a little bit. Hopefully he can continue that and not have a 0 goals in the playoffs again like he did last season. But last season was a little bit too good to be true. I feel like it was a huge step they took.
Yeah.
It was a pretty big step to the 1 seed. They were 3 seed, and they jumped to the 1 seed, and
Well, they were the 4 seed because they earned.
or yeah, 4th seed, and then they beat out everybody. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Beat out the Bruins.
And we were just hot. And now that we see that we can't even keep up these games when they're losing by 4 in the first quarter, and they have to play catch up every game. That's not going to work, especially against teams like Washington. I know it was pretty close yesterday, but Washington in the playoffs, they're not going to be doing that with fans in the stands getting loud. It's not going to happen.
Well, yeah, that's my point. Since they've gotten back with the fans in the stands, it hasn't made a difference for the Flyers, and that's kind of concerning to see, considering they have been one of the best home ice teams over the past 2 seasons, and we did have fans.
Yeah, I feel like it's that with every single Philadelphia team. I mean, it's probably more than just the fans right now for the Flyers. The Sixers are doing fine. Eagles, I don't know how the Eagles would have done if
Carson Wentz would still be here if the fans were in the stands.
Maybe.
And I will stand by that until the day I die. Because we would definitely have more than 4 wins this season if it was just a normal season. And I know everybody had to deal with the COVID, but I really, really feel like a lot of us over-exaggerated when it came to what happened this season. COVID-stricken or ridden season, and just a lot of shit happened that would not have happened if it was just normally played out.
Yeah.
But that's a conversation for another time. No more Carson Wentz talk on this show.
Yeah.
I'm done with it. I can't deal with it no more.
Wow.
He was my guy. He was my guy. We're gonna talk a little bit of Eagles coming at 10:30, the 10:30 hour portion of the show. But yeah, I'm.
What do you think about the going back to the Sixers real quick? What do you think about Evan Fournier?
I like him. I think he could shoot the lights out.
Would he be a guy that would come off your bench or a guy that would be instant starting? Because most likely you'll have to give up a lot more. I think more than Kyle Lowry.
Probably about the same, maybe a little bit less. I think if you were to try and get Fournier, you wouldn't have to get rid of Danny Green. Maybe you probably would because the contract would have to match up. Unless you throw Mike Scott, Terrence Ferguson, and Maxey for Fournier.
Then he probably had to. I saw some mock draft where they were saying it was Danny Green, Maxey, I think a first round pick or a second round pick, or like a first and a second or something like that
for Fournier.
Yeah. Right, and it may have been 2 first rounds then.
Dude, I don't care. I don't care how many picks we give up.
First round picks.
I don't care how many picks we could give up. The next 10 first-round picks we have. I'm going all out to win this championship this year. And the role players that we have right now, I can't trust. They're playing really, really well right now. But I can't trust
you. It's too sus.
It's way too sus for me right now. It's way too sus.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they haven't done anything that made them say, oh, we definitely need to get rid of this guy or something. Like Shake and Furk have been great this year.
Yeah, I think I think Shake has earned his spot to have a playoff rotation role.
Yeah.
Furkan, on the other hand, he has not shown me that he could.
What? Dude, he was shooting lights out yesterday. I mean, so is the whole team, but
Shake can score on any part of the floor.
Mm-hmm.
He could create his own shot on any part of the floor. And he plays okay defense. His athleticism is insane.
So what do you do when Curry and Green aren't having a good game shooting?
You start playing bully ball. They're still going to be out there to expand the floor, open up the floor.
Yeah.
You bring it down to Joe.
Embiid and Furk, they work well together. I already told you before. Stop hating. He had 14 points yesterday. 100% from 3. Stop playing with that, man. Stop playing with him. They're not going to trade Furkan Korkmaz. They won't.
I think they would. I think they would.
Maxey.
What emotional attachment does Daryl Morey and Doc Rivers have to Furkan Korkmaz?
Why not?
I know Brett Brown. I know Brett Brown and freaking Elton Brand had a circle jerk with Furkan Korkmaz. But what emotional attachment does Daryl Morey have with Furkan Korkmaz? You're telling me that if you were offered, I don't know, Kyle Lowry, let's just say Kyle Lowry for the sake of things, for Tyrese Maxey and Furkan Korkmaz and 2 first-round picks, you're not taking that? And you still get to keep Danny Green.
Yeah, I would do that.
So then what is the issue?
But like
the only way
you're
getting rid of Furkan is if we get a bona fide player coming off the bench. Terrence Ross. You're not taking Terrence Ross?
They're not going to do that.
If it means there's a package involving Furkan Korkmaz? Who?
Furkan's more no. Furkan is more important to our team than any other team right now, I feel. I know he's on our team, so that sounds stupid, but I feel like other teams wouldn't value him as much. I don't know. Flyers produce more turnovers than a Brett Brown coach team. I agree with that. I agree with that. Especially when they're up. When they're up by 3, they need a little
It's the defense. It
is. It really is. Because you can't score 8 points a game. You can't. Even 4 is a stretch. 4 is honestly a stretch. But
I just hope they solidify this defense. I hope Carter Hart gets his head out of his ass. Because if he doesn't get his head out of his ass and start making saves for his lackluster defense, we're not going to go anywhere. But this forward line is way too skilled to just have it be waste.
Yep.
You have 3 legitimate lines. 3 legitimate lines. If you add a grinder on that 4th line and then maybe add a sniper, you're championship contender. But that's only if you solidify this defense.
Yeah,
that's the Joe Myers, Travis Sanheim combination. It just isn't working, and I know they're going to go to that in the playoffs. I just know it. And I love AV. I love him. Before Doc came, he was my favorite coach in the city. Now it's Doc. It's Doc, AV, Girardi, the Union coach, and then Nick Sirianni. Who's the Union coach? I can see his face. I can't. I don't even know. I can see his face. I can't come up with his name. He's a ginger dude.
Wow. I know who you're talking about too. I'm pretty sure he's from Philly.
Yeah, he's from Philly. He's a Philly guy. I really want to get into the MLS, but I just can't. I'm one of those lackadaisical soccer fans. I watch the World Cup. I watch the Euro Cup, but I can't watch anything else more than that.
Yeah. I'm a Premier League guy, so
maybe the Champions League, but
Champions League, Premier League, but none of the other ones. I just feel like soccer is just sport that Americans just don't like.
Yeah. And Greg, the question that ties into this poll is, if you agree to it, are you willing to part ways with a guy like Danny Green? Are you willing to part ways with a guy like not Shake Milton, Tyrese Maxey? Are you willing to part ways with a guy like Furkan Korkmaz? Bill, is that for the Flyers or is that for the Sixers? Because if it's for the Sixers, you're just a troll. If it's for the Flyers, then
maybe
you're on to something. But if it's for the Sixers, you're just trolling right now.
Wow.
Like, you look like a nice dude, but you're a troll if you think it's the Sixers.
Yeah. That's messed up if he says the Sixers. That's messed up. Unless they
do nothing to this bench and the role players just don't show up in the second round, then yeah, maybe you have a point. But I trust that
they have to cut Joel Embiid's leg off. I don't think that unless he has some bad surgery going wrong and have to cut his whole leg off, I'm pretty sure we can make it past the second round with Embiid. So
and that's what I'm saying. If you make it past the second round, you're in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I said it all along. It's Eastern Conference Finals or bust this year.
Yep.
I don't want us overreacting saying we need to trade Simmons if we lose to the Nets in the Eastern Conference Finals. I know you're going to be saying that. All right, Bill, that's better. Thank you.
All right, yeah.
It's really
looking like it.
Honestly, really depends.
It's really looking like no playoffs. With their way their defense has been playing, it's not looking like any playoffs.
Dude, they're 1 point out, and the Bruins are slumping more than we are right now.
No, but we always lose to the Bruins. We haven't beat them once. Or we beat them once.
We haven't beat them recently. It was an embarrassment to play on Lake Tahoe. With how beautiful the view was at Lake Tahoe, it was such an embarrassment.
That's Carter Hart was watching the view. Just letting goals go by. That's why I always trust somebody like a veteran player in those stadium series games.
There you go.
Always trusting.
There you go. Always trusting the vet. Always trusting Nick Foles as opposed to a Carson Wentz. Always trusting a Brian Elliott as opposed to a Carter Hart. I'm telling you, we're going to run this guy out of town. If there's a second round exit and Carter Hart doesn't perform, we're going to run this guy out of town and he's going to go somewhere else and he's going to thrive. It's what we do best here in Philadelphia. Thank God the media doesn't polarize the Flyers as much as they polarize every other team.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, Jimmy.
Bill, I was negative 24 years old the last time the Flyers won a cup. And I cried my eyes out in 2010 at 11 years old.
Yeah, that was very upsetting. Wow.
I've been, even during the pandemic, like when there was no sports at all, and even when sports started to come back, I started rewatching like a bunch of just old games. I watched the 4th and 26 game. Mm-hmm. I watched the whole World Series over again, 2008.
Yeah.
I watched the Villanova game winner. I told you I wasn't here. I'm just watching
amazing things to watch.
I'm just watching all of these game 7 against the Raptors, even though it was just a disappointment and just a total heartbreak. I'll never forget where I was.
Mm-hmm.
It's a funny story about game 7 of Eastern Conference semifinals 2019.
Where were you, Jimmy?
I had recorded the game because I was working in the casinos.
I think we were talking at the time. We were talking together at the time.
Yeah. I was working because we were still doing our podcast for the other show.
Mm-hmm.
I was working at the casino, so I recorded it. I tried turning off my phone and not seeing it, not hearing or seeing anybody, but I realized that wasn't going to happen. I was going to find out what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I run out of the restaurant, run down to the break room, and I get to watch the last 6 minutes of the game in the break room. And the break room was at Hard Rock Hotel Casino, so the break room is huge in the casino. Yeah. It's like a freaking like gigantic cafeteria, and there's just a bunch of just Sixers haters, just crowding beyond like the big 52-inch TV or whatever.
Yeah,
they're just saying, "Oh, Kawhi shitted on him. Ben Simmons sucks." And I was literally like it was a close game. We didn't score in the last. We scored 1 point maybe in the last 3.5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just sitting at a table by myself, just like this, just like this. Please don't lose, please don't lose.
Yeah,
just quiet. As soon as they call that timeout, as soon as Kawhi takes the ball from inbounds and travels, mind you, that was a travel. I don't care what anybody says, that was a travel.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons is following him. Ben Simmons is on his trail, and Joel Embiid. Dude, that's another thing I want to talk to you about because I rewatched it last night. Why did Joel Embiid go over there with him? Ben Simmons was on him like a tattoo. And then once Joel Embiid like ran over, Ben Simmons sat back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
if Joe would have never ran over, I wonder if Simmons just would have clamped him the whole way, and Kawhi wouldn't have had that
was one
little
of the
inch of
luckiest
air
shots
that he
I've
had.
ever seen. That was one of the luckiest shots I've ever seen.
But I'm just saying, if Ben would have stayed on him as opposed to Joe sprinting over out of position, it's just a food for thought.
With the way Kawhi was playing, I feel like he still would have made it. He was just a freak of nature, honestly.
I don't know. Anyway, in the moment, right when the shot left his hands, it was a fucking rainbow, dude. A rainbow.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I saw the bounce. Right when the second bounce hit, I knew that it was going to go in.
Mm-hmm.
Third bounce hit, got up from the table, pushed in my chair, went right back into my restaurant. Didn't even say a word. Didn't look at anybody. Everybody was like going insane in that break room. Everybody was just going insane. Did not say a word.
I really
literally one of the worst days.
I really want to find those messages, and I don't know. I don't think I texted you back even. Like I was just so heartbroken. I don't know. The heartbreaks over there. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've had my heart broken with the Sixers and the Raptors series. I had it with the Eagles in 2005. I was 5 years old. I don't remember anything a part of the game. I just remember crying after the game.
Mm-hmm. I remember crying when the Patriots lost against the Giants in 2008. I don't know why, because I think I had a bunch of Giants fans in my class, and they're all bragging about me about we got lollipops or you got lollipops and stuff. Like I was crying because I knew they were gonna say something. I was upset. Upset.
People from our generation, we hated the Giants more than we hated the Cowboys.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just weird.
Since the Giants haven't done anything since
it's starting to lay back a little bit.
Yeah.
I think
people want to say that the Giants are going to do this, and that. No, they're not. They've been saying this for years now. They haven't been doing anything.
Yeah, I do like what Judge is doing.
Yeah,
I do like what Judge is doing. Their defense has been built up from good draft picks and good free agent signings.
Mm-hmm.
Their offensive line is slowly getting better year by year. They have Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
And they have Darius Slayton.
Mm-hmm.
And they have Sterling Shepard.
Yep.
Olate's a free agent. And they got Evan Ingram.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing they're missing is that quarterback. Because I think Danny Dimes is more like Danny Nichols. I don't think he's that good. And I think as long as he's the quarterback, we don't have to worry
about Trubisky. He's literally Mitchell Trubisky. Like low-key. High-key. He really is. Wouldn't that be scary?
I have a soft spot for Mitch.
Like Deshaun Watson. Wouldn't that have been so scary? Danny Pennies.
Dude is so bad. He gets sniped out by air in an empty stadium.
I mean, to be fair, he did burn every single one of our defenders.
Yeah, but that's not saying much because I feel like I legitimately could have played for that Eagles defense this year. But that's neither there nor here.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't know. You got the Giants, but as long as he's the quarterback, they're just. I don't think we have to worry about them.
Yeah.
So
if you can shut down the running game and then solidify pressure on the quarterback, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, the only struggles we had with them is that we can't score in the second half against them.
Yeah.
Because their defense is getting better each and every year.
Yeah. In the last 10 minutes of this first hour of our show, I got one more question for the Sixers, and then we're going to just transition to the Eagles for the rest of the hour, for the rest of the show. And then we'll give some bracket thoughts. I don't know if you had a chance to look at the bracket yet.
Yeah, I had a little bit. Yep.
I had a little bit of a shot. I submitted a bracket to BetMGM. If I get a perfect bracket, I win $2 million. So,
wow.
Well, let's see what happens there. So the poll of the day is the Sixers need role players even after the blowout that they had against the Spurs. I agree to the poll. My last question is, Joe's out. Joe's out for at least 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks is going to turn into a month. I think they're going to they're going to be very strategic with when they bring him back, and even when they do bring him back, he will not be playing a lot. He will be playing on restrictions. He will not be playing any back-to-backs. My question is, Do you trust Dwight Howard and Tony Bradley if Joe were to miss an important playoff game? I don't.
I don't.
I don't.
I think the Dwight Howard stunt of getting lobs. He did a little bit last year with Danny Green. Danny Green did that with AD. Joe. I mean, he has a little, like, we saw a little bit of his footwork and stuff, but I didn't see anything that great. But you just got to give him some time. We could buy out someone like Drummond, but I don't know about that. Because then Embiid comes back, and then you literally had Drummond and you have Dwight Howard. Like,
that was going to be my next question. Do we consider Andre Drummond? I don't want Andre Drummond. I don't want to touch him with a 35
or the other one, Cousins. So
no. This is why I've said PJ Tucker from the beginning. I know he's having a terrible year, but he's in a terrible situation in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
I said it a month ago. I can't trust Joe that he will be able to show up for every big game in the playoffs. And if you have a PJ Tucker, then you have a solid guy that'll give you 150% on the defensive side of the ball. He's a 6'5" center. 6'5" center that could play defense against a 3, a 4, and a 5.
Mm-hmm.
And if Joe's out, you could insert PJ Tucker, and he could try and do his best against a 5. Like, who are the 5s he's going to go up against? Brook Lopez, DeAndre Jordan,
Tice,
Aaron
Baines.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't really have to worry about the big guys on the defensive side of the ball if you're worried about PJ Tucker's height.
Yep. That would have been a problem if we were in the West, where we'd have Rudy Gobert, and then we had
Anthony Davis,
Jokic, Anthony Davis,
Zubac.
Oasis P says, I hope the guy on the right is in college. Yes, I am in college. Oh God, babyface. Oh, like that young?
How about me? I'm in a freaking attic right now of my college house because my roommates are assholes and they can't shut the hell up for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Really feel left out, Oasis.
He's talking about me. He's talking about me.
He is talking about you. I feel left out. I mean, you have a freaking
yeah.
jersey hung up on a freaking curtain. It's not even a curtain.
I don't think I'd own this. I don't think I'd own that. I don't know. It's too loud.
I mean, do cinder blocks in rooms, are they the new wave for walls now?
I guess.
If you're not in
I
college?
might be in a prison. I might be. Jeez. Wow. It's either the. I don't know.
Playoffs. Yeah. This is the whole point of the poll, Bill. I just thought you were a troll just because I thought there was no elaboration. I thought you just second round exit with the
we get those all the time where they say
hoping that I don't know. But I totally understand.
I know what you mean, Jim. We get a lot of people in here going saying like, what was it? They were in Tom's show the other day. It was like a Raptors fan, and he was saying like all this shit, like Embiid can't dribble or some like weird stuff. Like we get those all the time. But
I low-key wish he was on our show because I would.
Yeah, that would
love to go at him.
Yeah.
Love to go at him.
Raptors fan. I don't even think it was a Raptors fan. It may have just been someone's friend messing with him.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah. Okay, we'll skip over that.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. You need a PJ Tucker. You need a guy like a PJ Tucker just in case Embiid were to not be able to play in the playoffs for some god awful reason.
Yeah.
Just a Band-Aid fill-in just for him to come back.
Yeah.
That's all it is. That's all we need for Embiid. I don't really think we need a backup 4. I think Tobias and Ben will have that handled. If you're able to keep Mike Scott, then fine. If not, get rid of him for another piece.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll talk about the 3. The 3 is Danny Green. After Danny Green, you have Matisse and Furkan. I think any of those guys are on the market right now. I don't want to get rid of Matisse. The other 2 I'd be fine with getting rid of. The 2, you got Seth. You got Seth Curry, and I guess you could consider Maxey a 2.
Yeah.
So Maxey won't be getting any playoff minutes. And Seth, it really depends who's at that 3. Because if you have a guy at the 3 if you have a guy at the 3 that can play defense, then Seth can be on the court. But if you don't have a guy at 3 that can't play defense, Seth can't be on the court. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
And then of course you got Ben.
Yep.
So I think our
I
biggest
do
concern.
think that's a pretty big thing of Ben's game, that he can defend the 1 to 5. I'll give that to him. I'll give that to him, Jamie, because I don't, because you're gonna say,
What are you giving? What are you giving to him? It's
I'll give it
facts.
to him.
You don't have to give it to him.
Give it to
It's
him.
facts. You don't even have to say it.
I'll give it to him, Jimmy. He's a great defender. He will probably win Defensive Player of the Year, which is in the little thing we're looking at right down here. I don't see any other player that can do that.
I mean, it was the only other option was Gobert, who Ben put 42 on his head.
It was probably Gobert and
Kawhi maybe, but Kawhi doesn't really play that many games.
Drew Holiday. I saw some post about Drew Holiday. They said he was a better defender than Ben Simmons.
Well, that's what Jonathan said on our show a couple weeks ago.
That's crazy.
And I was half tempted to kick him from the chat, but I felt bad because it was his first show with us. He also said that Oklahoma City guy, his name is escaping me right now. Dort.
Yeah.
That was a dork take that he thought that Dort.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a bad joke.
Yeah.
That was a bad
joke. But honestly, don't sleep on Matisse Thybulle. He's had a great year defensively, and he's getting up there with steals with Ben. But I don't think he'd ever take it over Ben Simmons. Like he only has, I think, 3 less steals than Ben, which is wow. If you had that coming off your bench, like that's ideal. And if Matisse can score that 10 to 12 point game,
it looks like it looks like Danny Ainge's burner account is telling
John
us that
Montana, dude, get out of here.
Oh, you know him?
Yeah, he goes to my school.
I thought it was a Danny Ainge burner account saying that we want to get PJ Tucker.
He's a Houston fan, so
he's a Houston fan.
He's from
Houston. He would want to get rid of PJ. Why would he want to get rid of PJ?
Yeah,
you guys are a shit show right now.
Yeah,
you want to get rid of your vets.
We're just as bad. Don't worry.
What do you mean we're just as bad?
I'm talking about football too. Like
he's a Houston Texan fan too.
He's a 4 for 4. Pretty sure.
Houston?
Yeah, he's from Houston. So.
Well, they don't have a hockey team, so.
Well, 3 for.
So he supports cheaters.
3.
I'm.
Yeah. We want picks. What picks do you want? You want a 2nd round pick?
Bro, you guys are gonna buy. We'll buy him out. We don't need to get anything. He sucks this year. He actually sucks on Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want a 2nd round pick,
he said he wants
Maxey.
I think he wants Maxey.
PJ Tucker. You better give us Oladipo too if you want Maxey.
Yeah, for real, dude. I would. Then they need to go into hibernation mode and just start tanking like the Sixers did. Houston, man, they have Christian Wood, but that's about it. Wait, what? Oh.
The team they have now, Doc. Look, I think it's more important than ever to get that 1st seed, just so that you don't have to play the Bucks in the 2nd round. But then you also got to think about the fact that you may be playing the Celtics. You may be playing the Heat in the 2nd round. Those aren't teams that you sleep on. We haven't beat the Celtics in forever.
Yeah.
Whenever we beat them in the playoffs recently, in Ben and Joe's tenure, we haven't beat them. We've beat them 1 time. 1 game out of 9.
Yeah.
They are 1-8 against them.
Yeah, I think it was
Joe and Ben. Yeah.
Yep.
Because you lost in 5 in Ben's rookie year, and then you got swept last year. Yep. So you're 1-8 against the Celtics in the playoffs since Ben and Joe have come into the league.
Yeah, that's not. I think the best chance we would have had is if we had to play Boston after the Raptors series. If they beat the Bucks, I think that was the only chance with Butler. I think that was the only chance we really had in those past 3 years. But definitely this year, they're not cold blooded like they were last year. You know
what? The one thing I The one thing I did witness about when I watched last night's when I rewatched last night of the Game 7, Raptors versus Sixers, Jimmy Butler was a huge part of this team.
Mhm.
And I don't care what anybody says. I'm taking him over Tobias right now.
Yep.
I think him and Ben could have worked it out. I really do. And if you would have kept Jimmy, you would have got a new coach. I don't know who that could. Maybe you could have stole Sam Cassell last year. And Sam Cassell, he's not going to be an assistant for us next year. He's going to be a head coach somewhere, and I think he's going to be a damn good head coach.
Yeah.
So you never know what Sam Cassell could have done with this team involving Ben, Jimmy, and Joe. You never know what could have happened.
Yep.
But if we win the championship this year with Tobias, and don't get me wrong, Tobias is playing really well this year.
He is.
I'm not going to throw any shade on that, but I don't think he's anywhere near Jimmy Butler. I really don't. Truly don't.
I think it's just the fact that he is a very clutch player and he can take over a fourth quarter game offensively and defensively. He does have a few years. I'm pretty sure he has 2 years on Harris. I think that was kind of like what they were concerned about because you'd be paying him 4 more years and he'd be almost 36, 37. And I think that's what they were nervous about. But
Don, we're going to do some tournament talk at the end of the show, maybe the last 5 minutes, maybe like 11:20, 11:15-ish. We're going to finish up Sixers talk, and then we're going to transition into the Eagles free agency stuff. I have a big bomb that I want to put on everybody with involving the Eagles. I will say that in about 5 minutes after we finish up the Sixers. Vucevic. That's who you're thinking, Bill.
Yeah, who was an ex-Sixer.
He was an ex-Sixer. There's a lot of ex-Sixers on
Christian
that.
Wood.
Well, yeah, but there's a lot of ex-Sixers on that Orlando team. You got
Michael
Carter Williams. You got Fultz, Vucevic. Probably have a couple more.
Yeah.
The one thing about Orlando, if we were to get either Fournier or Terrence Ross, I don't think they'd want Maxey because they got Cole Anthony.
Yeah, they do have Jonathan Simmons. Is Jonathan Simmons playing forward now? He used to be.
I don't even know where he is.
Hart.
Did he didn't go back to Orlando?
Not Jonathan Simmons.
Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony.
Yeah, him. Jonathan Isaac. I meant.
Yeah. Jonathan Isaac. Cole Anthony, Jonathan Isaac, and Marco Fultz. They got too many of the same player, and gaining Tyrese Maxey would not help them out at all.
No, not really. I feel like they want someone. They want someone like Matisse. I feel because a lot of teams do want Matisse.
I'm not getting rid of Matisse. There's 4 untouchables on this team. Matisse, Ben, Joe, Tobias. The 4 of them cannot go. And I think a lot of people would be quick to get rid of Matisse. I just if he figures out that 3-point shot, he's going to be a starter with Joe and Ben for the rest of their careers.
Yeah. Wow.
He just needs to figure out that 3-point shot. And he's showing glimpses of it. Look,
we saw it his I don't know what his 3-point percentage was last year, but it's a lot better than it was.
Gavin said it. Tease has been hitting his shots lately. He has. And he needs to be consistent with it. Because if he's consistent with it, he's Danny Green in Danny Green's prime.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah, he had 10 points, 17 minutes. He had an 8-point game the day before, or 2 days before, and then Chicago he had 13. So he's only averaging 3 this year, and he averaged I think like 7 maybe last year.
Yeah,
like he was doing great offensively, and it's just sucks to see, but he's turning it back up.
So the one thing I'll say to that, Bill, is the one time I've seen the Sixers play the Magic this year was on New Year's Eve, and it was like a 50-point rout by the time the beginning of the third quarter happened. Joe is eating up Vucevic. So I don't know if Vucevic's defense can hold up against Joe, especially in the playoffs when it matters. So we'll see what happens there. But if you have Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, all those guys with Vucevic, the Celtics all of a sudden become scary again.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying you need to reinforce these role players.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And Kemba sucks, though. I feel like Kemba will be traded. I heard something about they were trying to offload a bunch of picks for Jeremy Grant.
Why?
I know.
I don't think. I think Jeremy Grant's playing really well this year, but I don't think he fits with the Celtics.
No, not really.
He does not fit with that team.
No, because I don't know what position you play. You wouldn't play the 3, and you wouldn't play the 4. You got Jaylen Brown. You got maybe you play the 2.
Well, I'm assuming Brown will probably go to the 2. Tatum will go to 3. Grant will play 4. But
just I don't know. I would not.
That's another thing we have to worry about. If we were to go up against the Celtics in the second round, the defensive matchups will be a little sketchy.
Yeah.
Because you'll put Ben on Tatum, Matisse on Kemba, and then who's covering Jaylen Brown?
Yeah.
Danny Green?
Yeah, Tobias Harris.
But that's if Danny, like, who's Seth Curry going to guard? Seth Curry's going to guard Marcus Smart?
I think so.
And then you got Tease on Embiid. I don't know, man. I don't trust Danny Green. I don't trust Seth Curry.
That's why a player like Furk or a player like Shea can come in and they've done it a few games, come in and average more than the starters. So
Yo, Mike.
So Mike.
I also agree to the poll, but the second question is, are you willing to give up either a Danny Green, a Furkan Korkmaz, or a Tyrese Maxey to get that next piece that you need to win this title?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think you're going to be able to get anybody significant if you don't give up one of those 3 guys.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'd say you get rid of those 3 guys to get one or two good significant pieces. One to maybe compete with a starting spot, the other to come off the bench.
Mm-hmm. It's such a weird thing we're being put into right now. He's
too inconsistent right now, Mike. I don't trust him coming up with a big shot when we need him to hit a big shot when there's a minute 30 left on the clock and we need a 3 and Ben swings it over to him and Danny Green misses it. That shot could be Terrence Ross.
Mm-hmm.
Terrence Ross could hit that shot. He's proven that he's been consistent enough to make that shot.
Mm-hmm. There's not many players out there, not in the buyout market, that can really influence this team too much from the 3-point line. You'd really have to give up somebody good, like a Maxey or a Matisse, to get somebody who's shooting close to 40%. You really would have to.
Yeah.
So,
and Mike, I get that he has that experience like nobody else, but I just think he's out. He's done playing 30 minutes of a playoff game. He would be a great piece to come off that bench.
mm-hmm.
But I don't trust him to be a starter on this team.
Mm-hmm.
Need Kyle Lowry. You need Kyle Lowry.
I don't think they're gonna get rid of him. I really don't. I hope we can get him, but I don't know. I feel like it's just too good to be true. Tobias can be that big shot guy. I feel like he really could be. He had the clutch game against the Lakers. He's had games where he's been dunking on people and he's been very consistent. So
yeah.
What happened to the JJ Redick rumors? We don't want him. Jimmy wants him. I don't want him.
Why not?
Furkan's better.
Yeah, but who's going to come in for his spot? That's what I'm saying. Like if he's still on this team, he's going to be playing 30 minutes a game. And you're not getting Kyle Lowry, Terrence Ross, Victor Oladipo, Buddy Hield without giving up a Danny Green.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're saying, I feel like we're just saying like we want all these guys, but we don't know what it's going to cost them. Like you're not going to be able to just give up Mike Scott, Terrence Ferguson for a significant guy, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But like you'd have to play around with the salary cap, and we need
Yep.
to get the trade machine here. But
Mhm.
I don't know. It's tough. Like if I could keep Danny Green here and not have him start and play 30 minutes, then yeah, fine.
Mhm.
I'd be happy to keep him here. He'd be
Yep.
that veteran presence on this team that we need.
Mhm.
But you have that in Dwight Howard.
Yep.
Tobias Harris is starting to develop that veteran role. He
Mhm.
hasn't really been to the big games per se, but you have that with Dwight Howard. Danny Green, I guess he's the only one on this team that has been he's had the most playoff experience.
He's had very and Seth Curry, not so much. I mean, he's been he's been with the Blazers. He's been with the Mavs. Who's he with before? I think that the only two teams he's ever been on.
Yeah.
They haven't really done anything with him.
Yeah, guys, pound that like on YouTube, please. Pound it on Facebook. Pound it anywhere you can. Thanks, Greg.
What's up, Adam?
Yo. Buddy Hield, I don't know about Buddy Hield. It really if they want Tease, then no.
Yeah.
If they want Matisse Thybulle, then no. No.
Buddy Hield's his 3-point percentage and his ability to shoot the three is very intriguing, but I don't think it's enough for us to get rid of the James Harden clamp god. So
if they say yeah to that, or if that's what they want, then yes. But if they want Matisse Thybulle instead of a Terrence Ferguson, then no. No. Yes to PJ Tucker.
That would be a steal. That would honestly be a steal if we could do that.
Yeah, if we could do that, then fine.
That would be robbery. We would have to
highway robbery.
Yeah.
But
wow. That's only something Howie Roseman can pull off to a different team and get
that's like Carson Wentz to the Colts for a third-round pick and a conditional first.
Wow.
That's what that is.
PJ Tucker. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit. PJ Tucker, Jimmy mentioned he can guard the 5. Saw a little bit last year. Didn't do so hot with it, but it was
that's because Robert Covington was his 4.
Yeah. And what, he was the second tallest or the tallest on the team?
Second tallest. Because
Robert
Covington was playing. Robert Covington was jumping for them.
Yeah. That's so sad. That's so sad, actually. Wow. Yeah. That's sad. But he is a pretty gritty guy, and he can defend. He's kind of like just that annoying guy. Kind of reminds me of like a bigger Corey Brewer. Remember Corey Brewer when he locked up
for a hot second?
That would be so funny to have him on our team.
Yeah,
it really would be. But we cut him. So
yeah, Mike. We said that if Embiid happens to miss a playoff game, PJ Tucker would be a great Band-Aid for that game and would still give us a shot.
Hopefully we don't go and play a team like the Heat in that first series. They do have Bam, or if we play, I don't think it would be anything serious. I think we could beat them, but the Heat is looking good. They're heating up, no pun intended. But then we got the Magic with Vucevic. I don't know how Dwight Howard would match up with Vucevic, to be honest.
Yeah, right now we would play the Hawks.
Okay, so they got John Collins. They got.
Jesus, I'm a fun guy who was trolling the show the other day. The Toronto Raptors are now tied for 9th. No, I'm sorry. They're 10th. They're 11th. They're 11th in the conference. They are on a 5-game losing streak.
Wow.
The Bulls have a better record than them. The Hawks have a better record than them. The Knicks have a better record than them. The Hornets are the 6th seed right now.
Wow.
Better than them. Right now, we'd be playing the Hawks.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd be playing Clint Capella.
Yeah. I mean,
Joe better show up to that series. Just tell you that right now.
It's Clint Capella. It's not.
All right. And then when Dwight needs his rest, is Tony Bradley going to come in?
He might have to.
TB11, we trust.
TB11, let's go. Give the max. Do you think we should sign LaMarcus Aldridge?
I have seen that.
I think a buyout would be most ideal.
I think that's a solid if you could get him on the cheap from a buyout.
Yeah. He's getting $24 million, so you'd have to match that.
Definitely have to figure that out. But
yeah,
marketing, villain.
He's also 36 years old, which is
Well, I guess
he
we have a
doesn't
thing
have
for
playoff
36.
experience, to be fair.
We have a thing for 36-year-old vets, I guess, because that's what
Yeah.
Lowry is, right?
Yep, close to it.
If
he actually,
what was that?
is Lowry actually 36 or is he 34?
35, I think.
Okay, Lowry Markkinen.
It depends what you have to give up.
Yeah,
I don't think we need a 4. I really don't think we need a 4. We need a
Mhm.
5. In this order, this is what we need. We need a solid wing
Yep.
that could shoot the ball and play defense.
Mhm.
That is number 1. We need a solid scorer coming off the bench.
Mhm.
That is number 2. And then we need a solid backup 5.
Yep.
Dwight Howard is that backup 5, but you need another one just in case Joel Embiid cannot play.
Mhm. Now I don't think did Dwight start that game against, or did Tony Bradley?
Last night against the Spurs?
Yeah. That I don't know. I kind of like Dwight more as a backup center.
Yeah, Bradley started.
Okay, so
Bradley had 21 minutes. Howard had 20, and then Poirier had 7.
Poirier, dude, man,
Don't mistake that for the Poirier that knocked out my boy.
Yeah.
Wow, Diamond Dustin. That was the second worst day of my life.
Mm-hmm. Really,
the first worst day of my life was trading Carson Wentz. The second worst day was
Ben Simmons will be worse. I think.
The second worst day was Conor McGregor just not being able to take a punch against Dustin. That was the second worst day of my life.
It's the leg kicks, Jimmy.
That's how we beat Nate in number 2.
Yep. Yeah.
You think he won that?
I don't know. It was really close. I think so.
Obviously won round 1.
Yeah.
Obviously round 1, round 2, but Nate came back strong towards the end, but Conor still won round 2. Yep. Nate won round 3 by a landslide.
Yep.
And then Conor came back and won round 4.
Yeah.
I just don't see how, unless you're just an absolute Conor McGregor hater, I don't see how you could say that Conor lost Diaz McGregor too. But
yeah, he's consistent.
I digress.
Stretch 4. Matisse is only what, 6'4"?
6 in between that and 6'6", I think.
Okay, so let's just say 6'5". I don't know if I would have him going against someone like, if you're in the playoffs with someone like the Pacers, I wouldn't see him guarding someone like Sabonis.
Yeah,
obviously he wouldn't be in over Harris. Harris did kind of lock him up when they played, but
well,
I don't know. I don't know how. I don't hate him guarding bigger players because he gets the steals. And
he's quick.
He can get bodied up. He can also get bodied up in the paint, like if he had to, power.
Yeah, but then you got the rotation of Tobias or Ben sliding over there to fill in the lanes.
Yeah.
This team is really good defensively. They're a really good defensive team, especially if Joe's on the floor. Yeah. And there's a lot of people throwing in a lot of these names for the 4 and 5. You got Markkinen, you got Aldridge, you got PJ Tucker. If you had to choose one of them, which one are you choosing?
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, I could say Tucker, but just because of that versatility he has, and he can guard pretty much anybody on the court, just like Simmons, but just not at a high level like Simmons does.
Yeah.
But I think that's very intriguing, especially since he didn't do bad against AD. I don't think he was just like a little pest. That's what he was, and AD just wasn't hitting shots. So.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a lot of reliance on the other team's center to not hit shots or be powerful enough to outbody PJ Tucker. So
yeah. The one thing I worry about Markkinen is the cost, because you could use that package that you'd be sending the Bulls to get a guy like Terrence Ross, to get a guy like Kyle Lowry, to get a guy like Buddy Hield. I'd rather get one of them than Markkinen, and you'd have to give up.
Yeah, you got to go full out. You can't get experiment players like Markkinen. I really don't know.
Especially if it costs you that much. If it costs you we need to use that the package that we have. We need to use that We need to use that to get a wing player. Right when it came out, I knew I had to.
That's funny. That's funny.
So that's why I'm in between Aldridge or PJ Tucker, and I like PJ Tucker more. I think you could get him on the cheap, especially since he's had a down year.
Yep.
And I just feel like he shows more potential than Aldridge. I think Aldridge is just shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And marketing, back to the marketing thing, I don't think he would be too much in the playoff. Like I don't want to say anything like that, but he hasn't played in a playoff game. So like I really don't. I want more people that have playoff experience. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think that's the most important right now too. Like veterans that have been there, more than players that you really never saw in the playoffs, or
Yeah, Bill, that is insane. You're 1 3-pointer away, right? He's hit 2 threes this year. He's hit 2 this year, right? Or did he hit 1? He hit the 1 against Cleveland.
Yeah, and was it against New York? No.
He has 2 3-pointers this year. So you're 1 away, Bill. That could happen. How many games do we have left?
We have, I think it's 5 games after halfway. So we might have 30, 35 maybe? No, 30. What is it, 37?
Yeah.
37 more games.
Bill, I'm pulling for you. As a gambling man myself, yeah. Wow. You need 1 more.
You know you gotta do? You gotta go to a pregame and say, Ben, I need you. I need you to make.
Let's all DM him.
Yeah, why not? We'll probably get blocked, but it's okay. Because no matter what, no matter who tells him to shoot a 3-pointer, he ain't shooting shit. He ain't shooting shit.
You're such a hater. You're such a hater. I think with Joe out over the next few weeks, Ben is going to. I'll make a bet with you, Evan. He'll make 1 3 during Joel Embiid's absence. 1 3.
1 3?
Yeah.
All right.
If he makes it, you have to purchase a Carson Wentz jersey. A Carson Wentz Colts jersey. If he doesn't make it, I have to purchase a Jalen Hurts jersey.
All right. I'll do it.
We're on camera doing this right now.
We're doing it.
Sounds good.
It's a bet. It's a bet.
Sounds good.
It's a bet. Wow.
We have it on the books. If Ben Simmons makes it 3 while Joel Embiid is out, Evan has to purchase Carson Wentz Colts jersy. If he does not make it 3,
Carson Wentz Philly jersey, so that's gonna be interesting. I might have to give it to you after as like a Christmas present. I don't think I can hold on to it.
Well, no. You'll have to wear it every single show. You'll have to wear it.
No way.
Whoever loses or whoever has to purchase their jersey has to wear it every single show until further notice.
Wow. I'll do it. Ben is not going to hit a 3.
All right. Sounds good. So one of us will be buying a jersey.
All right. Fair enough.
That is great. That is great stuff.
Wow.
Bill, I actually served Ben Simmons at the casino, the restaurant I worked at the casino. He is a very quiet person. Very quiet. He was polite, but he was a very quiet person.
I could definitely see that from him.
Yeah, Tom. This is how we do bets on Phlite.
Until
further notice.
Until it's too much. If I wore that every day, Jimmy, you'd be crying on the podcast. You'd be crying.
No, I wouldn't. I'd be so gleeful.
Nah, you'd be
so gleeful.
You just keep thinking about it.
So Ben, he was with his little squad. There was about like 10 of them. They went into the private room or whatever. They all ordered something like collectively, so he didn't really order. He just asked for like a glass of water, and then they ordered their espresso martinis. They just had a bunch. They just kept on ordering a bunch of like espresso martinis, a bunch of like other shit. But he was very quiet, very laid back, as we all see on the court. He's a very quiet, laid back person, very to himself. And even with like all the espresso martinis he had, he stayed exactly the same.
Yeah.
So he wasn't a douche. He wasn't a douche like some athletes are. like some celebrities are. He was just a very quiet, laid back dude.
So. We need, you know what we need to do for a podcast? We need to do celebrity sports stories that we say all the people we met and what we thought about them. We need to have a podcast like that.
We'll maybe do that in the dog days of summer when the Phillies are on like a
the Phillies are in last place and nothing else to talk about.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That sounds like a great time. I never met AI. My uncle, he was a cop in Philly for 35, 40 years maybe. He used to always tow his car. He used to just always double park his car in front of a club. And my uncle would always tell him every single time, that's not a parking spot. You can't park there. And every single time my uncle would just have it towed and AI would just pay the bill. Pay the fine. It's just you just hate to see it. All right. In the last 25 minutes or so, half an hour or so, we're going to talk a little bit Eagles, a little bit of free agent talk. Yep. They didn't do anything today to add any players to the roster. They lost a couple players. They lost Rudy Ford, special teams player, and they lost Jalen Mills, who's going to be an all-pro with Bill Belichick in that defense. Calling it right now. Calling it right now.
No way. No way. If you put him on the best player once, he's getting burnt toast.
What did we say about Nelson Aguilar? What did we say about Nelson Aguilar? He sucks. I said it.
Burnt toast.
He can't catch the ball. He can't get open. Look at what he did.
We're going to get him, too. We're going to get him back this year, which is the
Why?
He's working out with Hurts. He was working out with Hurts.
I don't care if freaking – never mind.
Yeah.
We're not getting him.
Working out with your boy Hurts.
We're not getting him.
Wow.
Not according to my uncle. My uncle was a hard ass. Look, Bill, you and I are banking on this bet right now. I do not want a Jalen Hurts jersey. And I'll tell you right now why I don't want to. It's a great transition into our next topic. And our next topic at hand is what the Philadelphia Eagles are doing during free agency. They haven't done much yet, but they restructured yet another contract. So far, they've restructured Kelsey. They've restructured Slay. They restructured Brooks. They've restructured Graham today. All of this restructuring is telling me that Howie wants to build a team right now. Howie wants to compete in a weak division. And I trust in the fact that they will build a competent roster this year. And I hope to God that this roster works out, because now all of a sudden your offensive line is coming back and you may have a half decent offensive line pending everybody's health. I know it's a big question mark, but let's just say everybody comes into the season healthy and they could stay healthy most of the time. You have a great offensive line. You have a running back, Miles Sanders, who will bounce back with this offensive line also coming back healthy.
Yep. I agree.
I think they're building up this team to try and win this division. But here's the catch. They have 2 years. Because after these 2 years, all these guys that are restructuring their deals, they're getting old. So you're going to be paying them all this money.
A lot of money.
They're going to be paying them all this money towards the end of this contract, whether it's Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Brandon Brooks, Lane Johnson, once you restructure his contract. You're going to be paying all these guys when they're 34, 36, 30, 35 years old. And you're going to be in the same exact situation what we've been talking about all this offseason. All this offseason, we've been saying, oh, they're going to be dog shit. They're going to suck. I don't think they're going to suck. I think these guys are going to come back pissed off. They're 4-11-1 last year. They don't want to do that again.
That's embarrassing. Dude, I honestly, when we lost against the Bengals, that was probably just like our season in a nutshell.
Carson Wentz tied the Bengals.
Yeah, we tied against the Bengals. That was probably our season in a nutshell. I did not know Nelson Aguilar went to the Patriots. I did not see that. I just got back from practice, so I must have missed that.
Nelson went to the holy shit.
Yeah. Patriots not looking bad. I mean, they have Cam Newton, who's not good, so
I mean, they got Jalen Mills. They signed Jonnu Smith.
Yeah,
Dude,
Philly boy.
Belichick saw that Tom won a Super Bowl, and he said, "All right, time to shut this shit down. Time to put
Yeah.
up a legitimate roster," because he had no roster last year.
No, he didn't.
So he's going to draft.
And dude, I was questioning them signing Cam. I don't know if they're going to bring in someone like Mac Jones later and maybe like a second round pick.
Kyle Trask.
Maybe he'll
Kyle Trask in the third round for them,
and
he'll be the next Tom Brady.
Yeah, and he'll be the
Put it on the books now.
He'll be the backup for the first year probably, and then I think that's what's going to happen. You just got to get someone a little similar to Cam's play style. I don't know if Trask is at where Cam has ever been.
Yeah, they both went to Florida at one point.
I really don't. I really don't know too much about him, but
here's a question. I don't want Pitts at all. I don't want Pitts.
Okay.
But let's say you do take Pitts. Do you take Trask in the third round?
No.
That Florida hookup.
No.
Hurts plays shitty, like I'm predicting.
No. There's no way in hell that would happen. There's no way in hell that would happen.
I don't know.
Way, dude.
We're a QB factory, man.
No, we're gonna bring in someone. We're literally gonna bring in Brissett. That's what's gonna happen,
dude.
We're literally the Philadelphia Colts. Philadelphia Colts. I'm telling you.
Look, we're doing all this restructuring for what though? To have Jalen Hurts run the system, right?
Mm-hmm.
This guy got benched in college. He got benched in college.
He's hurt.
Injured. He got taken out because he sucked.
Dude, he was injured that whole time.
Even in college, he couldn't find his second read.
But look at him now. He's had his plays. You gave him a gig. Jimmy, we fight about this too much.
Evan.
Wentz is gone.
I'm done with Wentz, but I'm saying we're doing all this for what? We're doing all this restructuring for what? To have Jalen Hurts come out as an experiment season? You'd be wasting an opportunity that you're presenting yourself with. I think you're doing all this. You're probably going to sign a receiver maybe a week down the line, a solid, maybe like a Curtis Samuel.
Mm.
Hey, I wouldn't mind going in on Mr. TikTok. I would not mind.
Juju?
Yeah. I wouldn't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you were to get one of those guys, you could shore up the offensive line and get Sewell if he's still there. If the Bengals were to get Chase. Because I don't think it's out of the realm that the Bengals draft Chase. The hookup with him and Joe Burrow.
Yeah. And Don, I know Don wants us to draft Pitts at 6 because he wants Chase or Smith.
Every smart football fan that's not an Eagles fan want us to take Pitts.
Mm-hmm.
You don't take a fucking tight end with the 6th pick.
The only way I'm taking him is if we trade back, and he's still on the board. That's the only way I'm taking him. And if Waddle's not on either, and you don't have Sartain, I draft Pitts at what in the mid and maybe 15 if we were to swap with somebody. Patriots are 15.
Yeah, but he's not going to be there at 15. He's going to be taken in the top 10, I think.
Really?
Pitts, yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, what Bill just said, they need to, if they do hit on the top 5 picks that they have in the top 90, top 100 or whatever, 4 of them need to be starters, right? 5 of them ideally, but you have Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie making the picks, so you never know. But there's a lot of things that are just falling right into place for them to have a solid season. I said it last week. They're doing all this restructuring to build a team. My next point is, if you have the chance to take a Zach Wilson, to take a Trey Lance, I know I'm going to get a lot of ridicule. To take a Justin Fields, I'm taking him at the 6th pick. I'm not trading up. I'm not giving up any picks to trade up. But I'm going to do my homework on those 3 quarterbacks. And if one of them are there at 6, I'm pulling the trigger.
I don't know.
Because you could add a veteran receiver in free agency. And then you could get an Asante Samuel Jr. in the 2nd round
Mhm.
for your secondary. You then maybe draft a linebacker or a safety
Mhm.
with the 3rd round pick. You have 2 3rd round picks.
Yep. Wow.
I don't want them to do all of this stuff just to experiment with Jalen Hurts. And if this experiment goes wrong, then you just did what? All of this for nothing? And then you're in the same situation over the next 3 years that we just had to go through over the last month.
Yeah.
Just people you got to realize that if you want any meaningful football this year, I don't think Jalen Hurts is taking us there. And I love Jalen Hurts. I love him as a player. I don't love him as a quarterback. I love him as a competitor. I don't love him as a quarterback.
Yeah. You got to give Wentz a year, or you got to give Hurts a year. You got to give it to him.
But Casey, what quarterbacks are going to be in the draft next year? This class is stacked 1 through 5 quarterback wise.
That's when you go back and you trade back. You trade back, you got it.
Dude,
if it's that big and if a team really wants a quarterback, that's when you're going to trade back, and you're not going to get Sartain. You're not going to get Waddle. You might get Pitts if he falls, but because people, they're very high on Trey Lance. They're very high on.
It worked out the first time you drafted a North Dakota State quarterback. You won a Super Bowl after you drafted him.
Mm-hmm. And
like people are so quick to forget
Eagles
that.
Guys. There was Eagles scouts there at his pro day.
Yeah, quarterback coach Johnson.
Yep.
Like people are so quick to just gloss over the fact that no, don't take another North Dakota State quarterback. Why? Because the last time you took one, you won a fucking Super Bowl 2 years later.
Mm-hmm.
So why are you just throwing it away like that? If you have the opportunity to take a quarterback that you like at 6, you take him.
Yeah. I agree. Kind of. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know, Jimmy. I really don't know with the Eagles anymore. I feel like we just need to see what happens. Yeah, that's all. I don't think they're gonna. I feel like they're very high on Hurts right now.
Yeah. Well, the one thing we cannot do is draft Pitts, because if you draft Pitts, you're basically signing away Dallas Goedert, because you can't pay 2 tight ends top dollar money, and you got to sign Dallas Goedert next year.
He's converting into a wide receiver.
Oh my God! If I hear that one more time, I'm not watching football anymore.
He will.
He's not.
He will. Chase Claypool did that. Same size.
Yeah.
Yes. Why?
Chase Claypool lost to the fucking Browns in the playoffs.
Oh my God! Stop. You want?
I want to see. I want to see what Claypool
wide receiver on our team last year.
I want to see what Claypool does without Juju.
All right.
Because as much as people want to hate on Juju, Juju was really important to that offense. I feel like Juju would be a great signing for this team, especially with Rager, especially with do we have any other receivers?
We have Wes Watkins, Hightower.
Especially with Watkins, Fulgham, Greg Ward. Like, you need to sign a veteran receiver. And if you sign a solid veteran receiver, that means you don't necessarily have to get a Devontae Smith or a Jalen Waddle if Jamar Chase isn't there.
Yeah. Like, you could sign someone like Galladay. He'd probably want a lot. Sign someone like Tate. We mentioned that one before. I'm not – you know what? I'm going to say this, kind of a hot take. I don't know about Alshon Jeffrey. If you can't sign somebody – or if you don't draft somebody, you can't sign somebody, I feel like they should consider bringing him back for one more year. I know that sounds absolutely insane, but I just feel like we saw some flashes from Jeffrey after Wentz got out. I guess he just didn't want to play with Wentz.
All right, should I ban you from the studio or should I just kick you?
Nah, I'm right, dude. You know I'm right.
Could I mute you?
You know
I can mute you.
Nah, you know I'm right. You know I'm right. You know I'm damn right. You know I'm right.
Dude. Why?
I wouldn't be opposed to it. Because he just didn't want to play. He didn't want to play with Wentz. And he wasn't.
He's your quarterback. That should be sign number one. Sign number one that you should not be on the team anymore.
I'm saying this as a
I don't want to play with him. I'm not going to play.
As a last resort.
I'm not going.
I'm saying this as a last resort.
He won't be the last resort.
Why not?
Because Howie Cap Wizard Roseman is freeing up cap space right now for us to try and be competitive this year. Last place schedule.
It's stupid.
Extra playoff team. Last place schedule. Extra playoff team. Chance at a home playoff
I
game.
really don't see all the hype in making a first round game and then just.
You've been saying that for 3 years now.
Yeah. That's because I don't like getting crushed out of the first round when you could have had a top 5 pick. I'm like a Giants fan. The Giants didn't want to make the playoffs all these years. They just wanted to tank. And now they have a better roster than we do. Drop back to take 15.
It's a smart move, Bill. That I agree with you, except for the fact that if we're doing all this and Jalen Hurts doesn't work out by week 8, we did all of this readjusting, restructuring contracts for no reason. If you bring in a guy like Zach Wilson or Trey Lance or Justin Fields, you have a guy coming fresh out of college. All 3 of those guys are really talented players that would have no film on them.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Hurts has film on him, and he already got figured out 3 games into his professional football career. You have no film on him, and you have a solid offensive line. If you build up the defense with your picks, with the rest of the picks that you'd have after taking said quarterback, and then you fill in the rest in free agency, all of a sudden, you look like 9-win team, 8-win team, and that's enough to win in this division. Because you don't know what the Cowboys are going to do. Dak's paid now. He doesn't care.
Yep. I don't know, Jimmy.
A lot of
months now. It's coming down to it. We're getting closer and closer to draft day. It's only about a month and a half away.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying take Surtain.
Yeah, I'm saying Surtain.
I'm not opposed. Who are you taking? Are you staying at 6 or are you trading back?
I'm trading back at 9.
To 9, you're drafting. That's your like final
the Broncos need a quarterback.
So you don't want Chase or Pitts? Or...
It really depends on who's there. If I'd rather have Chase than Smith. So if Chase isn't there, I'm trading back to 9
and getting Surtain.
And then the Broncos move up and get whatever quarterback they need to. For like a 3rd, 4th round pick, maybe, because they're not going to give us that many. Because
I want to agree. I want to agree with everybody, but I want one of the quarterbacks.
Dude, didn't you just say like a few months ago that you said if they chose another quarterback, you'd just not be a fan anymore?
Things change. The past is that was during the breakup. That was during the breakup stage. I'm a little bit over it now.
Yeah, we'll give
I'm a little bit over it now. If we do draft a quarterback, that means you got rid of your franchise quarterback for nothing. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, I'm an Eagles fan, and I think that's what would be best for the Philadelphia Eagles. If you're doing all of this, you gotta make sure that whoever your quarterback is, he is the guy. Because next season you're going to be in cap hell. The following season you're going to be in cap hell, and then the season after that you're going to be in cap hell.
Mm-hmm. So
at the end of the day, if you want meaningful football anytime soon, it's going to be this year. And you need to make sure you have a solid quarterback.
I just want to give Hurts a year. I know you're saying there's not going to be anybody next year, but
there won't. What are you going to sign a quarterback? Like that? That'd be your only option.
I don't know. I think you just need if you have Hurts, if you don't draft another quarterback, you're all in on Hurts. I think that's what it is, and you have to ride with him.
I don't want to give up Hurts either, but. I've been thinking about this also. The Eagles and their cap space and the way they treat some players rather than treat other players is just very disgusting, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, people want to come and play for the Eagles, but when they do that, they're risking it. Because you could get treated like Jason Peters, or you could get treated like Alshon Jeffrey, where, oh, you guys won a Super Bowl, here's some money. But then at the end of the day, you could also be treated like Malcolm Jenkins or Carson Wentz or Nick Foles or Zach Ertz. Howie and Jeffrey pick and choose. They don't give a fuck about their players. They give a fuck about the money in their pocket. And they care about the control that they have.
Yeah.
And Zach Ertz just happens to be on the wrong side of that podium.
Mm-hmm.
I wish he was a Jason Peters or an Alshon Jeffrey as opposed to a Malcolm Jenkins.
Mm-hmm.
But Zach Ertz just got put on the wrong side of the pole.
Yep.
So I want to keep him, but it just doesn't make sense for the salary cap wise. And if you're doing all this right now to free up the money, Zach Ertz needs to be a part of that.
Do you think Zach Ertz is a top 5 tight end right now? I honestly don't. I think Goddard's honestly better than him.
I think a lot of people, like Tom said, I think maybe a week ago, a lot of people are quick to forget that this season was just terrible. I don't think you could judge a player just based on one season. And if I'm doing the same thing for Carson, I got to do the same thing for Ertz.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a top 5 tight end. I think you got Kelsey, Kittle, Waller. I mean, you got Mark Andrews. No. I'm taking Ertz over Fant. But you got Mark Andrews.
Andrews.
But the top 3 guys are Waller, Kittle, Kelsey in no particular order.
Do you think Gesicki is better than...
Still taking Ertz. Okay. Ertz is a top 5. He's a top 5 tight end.
TJ Hawkinson.
But it's just how it works out. It's how the cookie crumbles.
It's a debatable one.
Did the Washington football team just signed Ryan Fitzpatrick. 1 year, $10 million deal.
Wow. So does that say they aren't drafting a quarterback?
Probably not, because they got Heineke. It's probably just a Band-Aid until they find something else. Yeah. Bro, Heineke was the best quarterback in the division for a little bit.
You're probably a little bit right.
But, I mean, he was the starting quarterback to come out of this division in the playoffs.
We are not good against Ryan Fitzpatrick. We are not good against him at all.
Bill, it's one of the first times I strongly disagree with you tonight. I don't think Hurts will be just fine. I really don't. He can't throw the football after his first read. He came up on a weak hamstring 2 games into his NFL career, 3 games into his NFL career. You're doing all of this offseason for what? For him to be an experiment? And what if that experiment fails?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So either A,
it's really a risk that if the Eagles are willing to take it, that's a huge risk. You know?
Bill, I just said Ertz is top 5 tight end.
He's not top 5.
Yes, he is.
He's not.
What
maybe after 2 years ago, he was top 3.
Oh, but you're getting blinded by this year.
The season
right?
he had this year, he's not top 5. He got kicked out of the top 5, and he's now the second best tight end on the Eagles. Overall, you're not telling me you take Ertz over our boy Dallas Goedert.
If the money was right, then yeah. But the money's not right for this particular situation.
That's Carson's boy only. I feel like that's Carson's boy only.
So then why did he score the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl with Nick Foles as quarterback?
That was a Super Bowl. That was what, 3 years ago?
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Nick Foles,
the tight end position, we can't focus on that too much because I think we will end up drafting Chase, and I feel like a lot of people are like getting so psyched out, or people are just going crazy just because they're waiting and they think Howie's going to do something stupid. Like I said last podcast, it's going to be very, very hard to mess up this draft.
Yeah.
It's very hard to mess up this draft. And if Howie messes up, we're burning down the link. We're burning down NovaCare. We're burning down his house. And, not with the minute, but like
here's another thing. I know I dropped a big bombshell that I really do think we should take quarterback at 6. I don't think we should trade up. I think you should do your homework, get a quarterback at 6, and if that were to happen, you got to trade Hurts. You got to trade Hurts on draft night.
No one wants him. Who would take
Patriots?
Think so?
Maybe. Oh, teams need quarterbacks.
What would you give him up for?
3rd or 4th. Did he play like a second-round pick in the 4 games that he played?
I mean, nobody else played better than him. Tua didn't play better than him.
Well, just think about this. There was no other quarterback drafted in the second round last year.
Mm-hmm.
It was just Hurts.
But he's outplaying guys that were in the. He was outplaying not Joe Burrow, not Justin Herbert, but he's outplaying Tua.
He was 1-3 with a 52% completion percentage.
But look at the team he had, and look at the team Tua.
Look at the team that Carson had.
Look at the team that Tua had,
him out.
and look at the team that went. Dude, that man's gone. I don't even know who that is.
So disrespectful.
And hopefully Ben Simmons will make sure I don't remember.
So disrespectful.
But I wish we can get if we can get a second, maybe. But I don't know.
Nature Freak knows it. Guy being me.
No.
Guy gets it.
No.
Hurts isn't the answer. If you're doing all of
No.
this, you cannot bank that Jalen Hurts is going to be the answer. And you have this year, maybe next year, to have some meaningful football. After that, you need to pay these guys eventually. You can't just keep throwing the money at the end of the contract. Because guess what? One of these years, they're not going to be able to play anymore, and they're going to need their money.
Yeah.
So you might as well shore up the quarterback position while these guys are still at the end of their prime.
Mm-hmm. We put ourselves in hell, kind of.
I didn't do it. People like you, people like the mainstream Philadelphia media did this.
Thank you, Benny. Thank you. We're not trading Hurts.
Why?
Don't fantasize over any of these. No, absolutely not. I'm not taking, unless you're getting Trevor Lawrence or Zach Wilson, I don't want anybody else. I don't.
Well, another thing is if Sam Darnold isn't moved by draft night or during free agency, you don't know if they're going to get Zach Wilson.
That's the only way I'll do that. I don't know about any other quarterback.
What's the draft? Who's drafting third?
I think it's the Dolphins. I think it's Jags.
Dolphins.
Yeah, they got Dolphins at 3. 4 is who's at 4? Atlanta. Atlanta at 4. 5 is Cincinnati, and then we're at 6.
Yeah.
So I don't know if how sold they are on Matty Ice still.
Well, apparently Jalen Waddle's making his way up the board now.
Yeah,
just a week ago he was going in the teens. Now he's up in the top 10.
Top 10.
All right, PFF. PFF is Jacksonville Lawrence, obviously. PFF has Wilson going to the Jets, but they explain if Darnold is still on the roster, that probably will not be Zach Wilson. If I were the Jets, why wouldn't you draft Sewell?
I don't know. I don't think Darnold's that bad of a quarterback.
Yeah, he just has.
He doesn't have a front line. He doesn't
have a front line. He doesn't have a defense. Yeah,
his best offensive player is fucking Frank Gore.
Yeah, and then Mims was hurt most of the year last year, but when he played well.
Yeah,
you got Jamison Crowder, but Jamison Crowder's always hurt.
Yeah.
All right, so they have Zach Wilson going to the Jets, PFF, but if that doesn't happen, if Darnold stays, that won't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta is apparently sold on
Fields.
Well, hang on. They have what the hell? They have Atlanta and Miami flip-flopping?
So right? From 3 to 4?
Because Dolphins are 3, right?
Dolphins are 3. Yeah, Dolphins are 3, and so 3 and 4 for what though? That makes no sense.
Yeah, because it's just one pick, but that's PFF.
That means they'd probably want the offensive tackle.
It's maybe Miami is just playing chicken with them and saying, "Hey, we're going to draft Lance. You better come and trade for us." So that's probably what PFF is thinking.
Smoke screen, yeah.
So they got Atlanta getting Lance with the 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
Miami will then get Jamar Chase at 4.
Okay.
Cincinnati gets Sewell. Oh, okay. They have the Eagles trading with Carolina. Carolina will get Fields at 6. Detroit will get Waddle at 7, and then the Eagles get Pitts at 8. I will be so unhappy. Literally, just draft anybody but Pitts, please.
Pitts. I don't know, Jimmy. He can. I'm gonna keep telling you. He can play wide receiver. It's a lot different.
Denver, they have Slater from Northwestern, the offensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
That's another option for the Eagles if they want to trade back. They got Surtain going to Dallas.
The offensive line we should be too focused on right now. Honestly, I feel like it's just if Sewell's there, you take him. If he's there, you take him and you call it a night. But if it's anybody besides him, I'm not taking anybody else because we have a pretty deep offensive line. You do have 3 players coming back, and you never know with how he can go and re-sign the bodyguard, so he'll be hurt every 3 plays. So you really never know with that. So I think we need to put that in perspective. I don't know.
Phil, that's an interesting bet. I don't want to make it with you just because I think that is a likely scenario. And that's what Evan wants him to do. So I don't think he'll do that.
Yeah.
But
I want to do that.
You make a great point there. When we're at 6 and one of those quarterbacks are available.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Howie and Jeffrey are going to be shaking. They're going to be shaking their legs are going to be shaking like crazy.
Yeah. They got to be
Some
ready.
weird shit's going to be happening in that room when the quarterback's available at 6.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, if it happens, I'm not going to totally disagree with it because you're doing all this to build the offense, to build the defense. They're not in a win now mode, but they think they are, and that's what they're doing. That's what they're going towards.
Yeah.
And if that's what they're doing right now this year, you need a viable option at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, and Justin Fields have a better shot at winning us something this year, if that's what they're aiming for, as opposed to Jalen Hurts winning us anything. Call me crazy, come at me. I really don't care.
You just got to see, Jimmy. I can keep fighting you on this, but
I'm fighting with the people in the chat now
until draft day. But
I have seen Pitts play football, dude. But you just messed up Zach Ertz's career by drafting Dallas Goedert. You have to pay Dallas Goedert next year.
You would have to pay Ertz top 3 money. He wanted top 3 money to stay on the team.
Yeah, but they wanted to get rid of him because they were getting ready to pay Dallas Goedert this year, coming up.
I like Dallas Goedert better than Ertz.
So what? Are we just going to do this revolving door of drafting positions that we don't need? We did it with tight end first, then we did it with quarterback. Now we're going to do it with tight end again? When you have a wide receiver that you need, while you're not sure who your quarterback is going to be, while you need to start building up your defensive line again, while you need a fucking linebacker because all you have is Alex Singleton, while you need somebody in the secondary because literally all you have right now is Darius Slay.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't want Kyle Pitts.
Yeah. Wow. Dude, I'm good. 6'6" from Philly.
All right. Evan, give me your tournament winner right now.
Gonzaga.
I got Illinois. I got Illinois.
Illinois. Their fans are annoying as hell. So maybe.
No, I think I haven't watched college basketball a lot this year. Once Gillespie went down, kind of made me sad for Villanova. Villanova was my team.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Put in a not a $2 million bet. I put in something on BetMGM. If you fill out a perfect bracket, you win $2 million, and I have Illinois winning that. So, wish me luck, guys. If I win the $2 million, probably won't see me around anymore. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
What about Rutgers? Do you think Rutgers has a chance against Clemson?
Yeah, I have them winning in the first round.
I do too.
And then I had them bounced. I literally just did it for the culture because everybody at our high school.
I want them to win. Yeah, I don't want to root. I don't want to root against them. Why not? You got Drexel and
yeah, a lot of people are gonna fight on me on this whole thing. We'll keep talking about it until the draft comes up, but that's just how I see it. I don't see why you're doing all this if you're in a win now mode. If you're the Philadelphia Eagles, how you can truly look yourself in the mirror and say, yeah, the guy that got benched in college is ready to bring this team to the top. A guy who scored 3 points and 3 quarters against the worst defense in NFL history is ready to carry this team. A guy
You
who can't
never
make it
thought
past
of
his first
Wentz?
progression.
Did you think with Wentz he was going to have a great season in the second season?
Yes, because
After his first season wasn't that great.
dude, he started off.
They were 7-9. It doesn't matter. They were 7-9.
They started off 5-1. Did you see him in his first? Yeah, they started off 3-0. They beat the fucking Steelers. They beat the Steelers 31-3.
They can start off anything they want.
It was his rookie year with a rookie coach. What are you talking about? You're just a certified Carson Wentz hater.
No.
I thought I brought it out of you once we started this show.
Nope.
We started the show. It's coming up on a year now that we started this show, this particular show. I thought I brought the Carson Wentz hate out of you, but it looks like it's going back in you. I hope to God Ben Simmons makes this fucking 3-point shot.
No way.
Joel Embiid is out.
No damn way. No damn way.
How about this?
Yes.
Whoever loses, they have to wear that jersey for however many shows the other guy says.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm telling you right now, if Ben hits that 3, you're wearing that Carson jersey until December.
Right.
On the show. Just on the show.
Right,
you don't have to wear it around. Just on the show.
With you're wearing the Hurts jersey, and you have to show it before every 10 minutes. You're going to make sure that people know that you have a Hurts jersey.
So I'm going to be purchasing a Jalen Hurts jersey.
Yep.
Even though he's not going to be on the team come draft night. That's fine. I don't care. I don't really care. I'm a gambling man.
Dude. Someone bailed that guy out of jail. Yeah.
That's the second time.
Hard reinforced. Dude, I'm hitting it, and somebody above me is knocking back at me.
Dude. Watch the tape on Zach Wilson. You'll be surprised.
Do you think he's the next Patrick Mahomes? That's what they're having comparisons of him and Patrick Mahomes. What do you think?
He's a similar football player to Patrick Mahomes. I think I'd be crazy to say that he's going to be Patrick Mahomes. But the way he plays football, he plays football like Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
He can
put him around, and BYU didn't have that great of
exactly.
They didn't have receivers like Joe Burrow did, and he still made noise. So why couldn't he lead a team? But I don't think that Jets fit would be great for him because
just imagine this: Zach Wilson, who could throw the ball past his first read, Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, Dallas Goedert, Jalen Reagor. You sign a guy in free agency, maybe a Galladay, maybe a Juju Smith, maybe a Curtis Samuel. You got Greg Ward in the slot. All of a sudden, and a healthy offensive line, that offense looks scary.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could say that, but I think in a couple weeks I'm going to have a Jalen Hurts jersey if Ben Simmons doesn't make a 3 while Joel Embiid is out. So I'm not a hater. I just don't think he could throw the football in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
That's not hating. It's just what I see.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope Villanova can make a run.
I hope so too, but without Gillespie, it's no chance.
What do you think about Duke and Kentucky not making it for the first time?
Duke's a joke. Duke just I hate them now. They ruin their reputation with they just bitch. They just fucking bitch.
Yeah, they do.
But yeah, Evan, it's been a great show tonight.
It has been.
Next week we're definitely going to be diving more into this QB controversy that I'm stirring up, and I'm not even trying to stir it up just to be funny. I truly believe that if you're trying to win now, Jalen Hurts isn't the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Time to draft a quarterback. Sixers, it is time for you to step up. It's time for you to step up, Daryl. It's time, Big Daryl. It's time for you to make a move. It's time for you to improve this bench. It's time for you to get Danny Green out of the starting lineup.
Yep.
Try and keep him, but it's time for him to leave. Get out of the starting lineup.
Yeah. All right.
Next time we talk, the tournament will be in the Sweet 16.
Yep.
Next time we talk.
We'll see. Hopefully Rutgers.
Rutgers in the Sweet 16? We'll see. We'll see. All right, guys. It's been fun. We'll see you again next week.
See you.
Have a great week.